Hi, Andrew Smith from Newton Fallowell on behalf of the West Bridgford Wire with your property market update for April. An interesting month April was indeed. When you look at the statistics in the adjoining information, you'll see that instruction levels have pitched down slightly and sales have risen slightly. The reason for instructions pitching down from a reasonably buoyant period at the end of March, I believe, was partly due to the announcement of an election, which of course always has a reasonably cooling effect on the housing market, whilst people start concentrating on something else and want to let all the furore get out of the way so they can see what is going to happen in the future or get a better idea, certainly. So I don't think you're going to see tremendous figures over the next few months if the effect is as it's pretty much always been. On the sales side, sales numbers are slightly up simply because they follow on from instruction levels. And the previous instruction level was a little bit higher, so naturally sales have been a little bit higher, even given the dampening effect that April endured. When you start looking at the prices at the moment and consider the marketplace as a whole when it comes to what it's doing, pitching up, down, or staying more or less as it is, prices look like they've turned down very slightly, but there are a few anomalies in there. Now, one of them is Ed Walton. You don't expect Ed Walton from one month to the next to drop on its average prices by £13,000. That doesn't make an awful lot of sense with a place like that, until you factor in that there have been a lot of new bills released over the last few months, and that has had quite a significant cooling effect on the overall prices as they appear, because they are not as expensive as some of the older houses around Ed Walton. And seeing as their numbers are much greater, as in the number of sales actually occurring, it does have an effect of reducing the overall price at a quick glance. So that's the reason why. Now, those builds are continuing. There are quite a few of them down towards the bottom of Ed Walton, so it will continue to do this for a little while, but it shouldn't negatively affect the price of the larger existing houses that are there. Now, the opposite side of that is Ruddington. Ruddington has a large number of new builds being built and sold, and the effect has been quite the opposite, because the prices of the new builds are reasonably high, and that's also had quite a buoyant effect on the existing property in Ruddington, which seems to be very much up and coming at this moment in time. When you look at the wider view, everywhere is doing reasonably well. The supply and demand situation is still the same, so you still have a supply issue, and that supply issue, of course, usually strengthens prices provided demand stays at a reasonable level, which it seems to be doing. So all in all, the prices in Bridgford look like they are tipping downwards. In actual fact, it's slightly misleading, but the national backdrop, as you can see from the graph at the very bottom of the report, is also pitching slightly downwards. So in actual fact, when you take everything into account, our little region is performing very well indeed, which is a very nice thing to be able to say to you, because not everybody can do that. When I look at the overall picture across our entire network, by the way, we are relatively the same as 2016 at this time of year. Now, that is expected throughout this year, because we expect it to be relatively flat from a growth perspective, and that should be picking up again 2018, 2019. But we'll talk about that in another 12 to 24 of these videos. Thank you for taking the time to watch, and as always, if there's anything else I can let you know, if there's anything else you'd like to go through, please contact me at Newton Fallowell in West Bridgford, and I'll give you all the help I can. Thank you for taking the time to watch. Goodbye.